Of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Florida Democratic candidate Jennifer Jenkins criticized Republicans after their allies mocked her with Dylan Mulvaney images. She urged her opponent to condemn anti-LGBTQ+ attacks and focus instead on housing and healthcare.
When it rains, it pours. Literally. Stonewall Pride gets rained out, but I still caught some fun scenes that are definitely worth watching.
Vice President J.D. Vance faced backlash after supporting players who altered MLB Pride caps with Bible verses. Despite the controversy, 29 of MLB's 30 teams are holding Pride Night events this season.
Mobile's iconic Bebop's Bar closed unexpectedly during Pride Month after liquor license transfer issues emerged, causing the cancellation of several Pride events.
LGBTQ+ issues rarely decide an election, but a new poll says candidates do better when they support LGBTQ+ rights and other progressive causes.
All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ+ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 12 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ+ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, June 22nd, 2026. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ+ evening news show. Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ+ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate on key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Happening Out South Florida. This year, our magazine celebrates 41 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and Queer News Tonight celebrates our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ+ stories told.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
This year, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ+ community. Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my bestie, anchor John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ+ issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. So John, we had quite a weekend, but we spent Friday at the Gay Men's Chorus Pride Show. What did you think?
It was a lot. I was moved like reliving a dull yet sharp pain. I did a video essay capturing me in the moment. Hey everyone, John Hayden at the Broward Center for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida's annual Pride concert. This year, marking the 10th anniversary of the Pulse Massacre. This was a celebration of grief, a celebration of survival, and a celebration of pride. The Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida roaring with pride. Accompanied by Symphony of the Americas, their annual Pride concert celebrated community, Juneteenth, and joy. It also marked the darkest chapter in Florida's LGBTQ+ history. To honor the victims of the Pulse Massacre on the 10th anniversary, the chorus commissioned a special piece, Amor Eterno, a requiem for Pulse. A collage featuring each of the 49 killed looms in the background. But the most moving moments was when each name was read aloud as their picture was brought to the front of the stage.
Ángel Luis Candelario Padrón.
And that was the hardest part. That was the hardest part because from my seat, I could see the signs, the faces, the pictures, and they just kept coming. And at some point you think, no, there won't be another name. And then I would see in the wings another person get ready to come on stage with another picture. It was heartbreaking and it was important. At the Broward Center in Fort Lauderdale, I'm John Hayden. It was a hard night. The composer Sonder Choi was there, and I saw him beforehand, and met a couple of the poets that combined to write Amor Eterno, and it was like I was connecting back with Pulse through this music and through getting to know the poets who wrote it. Thank you, Gay Men's Chorus, because I know you guys do so much, and you're a joy to cover. And on positive notes, they announced next season's concerts.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Before you go there, hold on. Let's finish talking about,
okay.
Let's finish talking about, because I know what you're going to hit, and that's happy for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I want to give a big shout out to Gabe Salazar for being just an incredible conductor. He was out there conducting with one arm. I don't know what happened to his other arm, I was just more like, wow, he is a He-Man. He is our He-Man. So congratulations to Gabe. Congratulations to Mark and also Edward for everything that they do. The Gay Men's Chorus worked their butts off for this.
Really did.
And not an easy thing to present to us Juneteenth and also present to us the Pulse Massacre, right? They also had two survivors that were also there. And like, you know, I'm getting chills now because like you said, like, you know, it took me back to when that massacre happened, and like, you know, 49 names, like John said, every single time we heard a name, it was like, okay, we'll be done soon, you know, and they weren't. And it was like, all those 49 folks are no longer with us because of hate, you know? And that really stopped me dead in my tracks, you know? And then of course, Juneteenth, you know, was also so important to be celebrated, you know, and to be acknowledged, like they did, you know, the day before Stonewall Pride. Now they all, you know, they had a full packed house. The Broward Center was packed. Like it was packed.
Record ticket sales for a chorus concert.
Okay, if you go to the Broward Center, right, and you know when you have to park all the way at the tippy top, right, where your car's not covered anymore, and you're like, this is going to be a bitch to get out of, right? But it's still worth it. Yep. That's what it was on Friday, you know? So, okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, no.
Because I'm excited about, you know, them announcing the next season, right?
Yeah. So, from what I understand, count it with me, 1, 2, 3, Christmas concerts. They will be held here at Sunshine Cathedral. So, and you know, for what they do, how they perform the holiday shows, Sunshine really is a great venue for it because their shows are more intimate. When you do handbells, sometimes that doesn't connect with the back of a large theater.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to those. Next year's Pride concert in June, they're going to bring back the Disney show and do Disney tunes. I don't know if you were here for that. I think it was 3 years ago. It was amazing.
The Disney gays were just like jumping out of their seats when they announced that.
And that's going to be at back at the Parker. Mm-hmm. And then the Hard Rock is going to host in March their spring show, which is going to be a Cher retrospective. Oh my God. When I heard them say this, I literally heard the gay gasp. It was so, they were so
just
excited.
imagine that gay gasp like collectively through that whole Broward Center, because that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
like you just heard it. Like it was palpable. You could cut it. Like I was like, oh, thank God they didn't release the tickets then, because they'd be sold out.
Yeah. And they will sell out. So I'm very excited. Next year's good. Financially, all of our gay organizations are facing a challenge. But with this programming, I think they're threading a needle pretty well.
Yeah, and they also announced their gala in October as well.
Yeah, the week before Halloween.
Which is like, their theme is like something wild. It's like just like it seems very like, Garden of Eden meets Eagle, which I don't think that's what it is. But I'm just saying, like in my mind.
Every night on the drive,
In my mind, I was like, this is going to be amazing, Let's welcome anchor Alex Morash back to the table. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome back to the show, Alex, and your hair is looking better and better.
Oh,
is that because you stayed out of the rain on Saturday, maybe?
Yes, I'm a bad gay, everybody. I did not attempt to go out in the rain to Pride. When I see you, to be honest, you want to know the main reason I didn't go out this weekend. I got a COVID shot because I'm going to DC, and I've been stupid, and I haven't gone a COVID shot in like 2 years.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I went like, oh my God. I was like punched in the face for 3 days.
It knocked you out.
I was freezing the day after, the night after, shivering in my bed. Did
you make your husband take it too?
No, he's not going to DC. He's lucky. He gets to hang out with the dog. He tends to do his shots in the fall, so. And he's my boyfriend, not my husband. But
sorry, I just want to get everybody married. I'm just saying.
If you want to pay for the wedding, like.
I mean, he should pay for the wedding.
Both
of you are skinny. Now it's like half a wedding. It's not even a big full-fledged
I know.
wedding
We'll just rent a tuxedo and cut it in half.
Thank you, Alex, for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor and my partner in shenanigans, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspot's Happening Out's The FayWhat Show, starring FayWhat. Welcome back, Faye. Oh my God. I don't even know what I'm welcoming you back for. We were like at everything together all weekend long.
I know. And those are my favorite weekends when I get to spend them with you, except when you steal all my drink tickets. So just to let you know, right? Every band has a couple of drink tickets. If you were at Stonewall Pride, right? And your girl doesn't drink, right? So mine usually stay there. People are nice enough to give me water and Diet Coke or whatever it is. And John's like, you ain't going to use those. You can leave now. And I need to make sure that my bestie is nice and liquored up. So I'm okay with it.
Well, I couldn't afford drinks because I had spent all my money on Rain-X for my head, and the budget was just gone. So thank you for the wine. I appreciate that.
Well, you're all right. Okay, well, I'm happy to be back here as lead anchor on Queer News Tonight. Let's get this started. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Democratic candidate calls out anti-trans rhetoric in Florida congressional race. Jennifer Jenkins wants her Republican opponent to condemn anti-LGBTQ plus attacks after members of a young Republicans group mocked her by comparing her to transgender actress and activist Dylan Mulvaney. The controversy began when Jennifer Jenkins promoted a town hall on Facebook. The Space Coast Young Republicans responded in the comments with a single image of Mulvaney. Another former congressional candidate, Austin Ayers, later shared a similar post writing, quote, Jennifer Jenkins for Florida is canceling her bid for Congress to pursue other career choices, end quote, alongside another image of Mulvaney. Jenkins, who is cisgender, responded by accusing Republicans of avoiding issues that matter to voters. Jenkins posted, quote, imagine being so desperate to defend Mike Haradopoulos that your big political strategy is calling an opponent Dylan Mulvaney. That's it? That's the joke? End quote. She argued the campaign should focus on housing and healthcare instead of just the same tired obsession with transgender people that Republicans drag out whenever they don't want to talk about their record. End quote. So you're calling a woman Dylan Mulvaney. That isn't a political argument. It's a punchline built on transphobia, okay? When politicians can't defend their record on housing, healthcare, or the economy, they go right after transgender people. Period. That's it. That is like 1 + 1 = go after trans, you know? Voters deserve better than recycled culture war distractions like this.
Yeah, we deserve better. We deserve better. We ain't gonna get it. Here's the thing. Ken Paxton was doing this against his Democrat opponent in Texas a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And Stephen Miller, the dark side sperm person that we see everywhere, he went on Fox News and made fun of a straight white guy by saying, oh, maybe he's a soy drinking trans person. And then this other guy from North Carolina chimes in. That tells me this is a Republican talking point. This has gone out in the morning memos.
Yeah.
This is a strategy. And it's so blatantly, it was always clearly a distraction strategy.
Yeah.
But now it's so common that we can start to see it and know this is a formulated thought that they hope is going to carry them across the line in November.
Yeah.
And with all the up stuff that we've got going on right now, and I'm throwing gas is down 70 cents, but it's still up more than $1 from what it was. You know, like I understand that trans bashing isn't going to be it. However, I do want to say that I support the Space Coast young Republicans.
Why?
As long as they will go to space and promise to stay there.
But we're not a part of those chats that you talk about and those groups that you talk about. It's like that guy Holcut, that stupid MMA guy calling Michelle Obama a man.
Well, that's what it's John was saying. It's so much more pervasive these days. This idea to just call everyone you don't like trans. It reminds me of the kid, if they didn't like someone, they just call each other gay. And that's sort of where we're headed with all this. I will say, like, Jen Jenkins, like when I was at the Florida, I remember she was always one of the good, quote unquote, good ones when it came to dealing with state lawmakers. Happy to see this, but like, I do want to say, instead of just instantly dismissing it, I'm glad that she was like stood up to mention trans rights for say, but like, embrace the trans rights more. Talk about what is your platform going to do for trans people. Invite Dylan Mulvaney to do an event with you. Like, looking at Dylan Mulvaney's outfit and her, like, the two of them did a matching outfit video together. That would be amazing.
Would be insanely
amazing.
Cool.
I would love to see that. So, Jen, come on. Tell us more. Use this as an opportunity to embrace the trans community, Jen.
What Alex said.
Hey, everyone. I'm John Hayden. Let's queer up gay culture. Very soggy gay culture. By taking a look at my evening along the drive during Stonewall Pride. We were ready. We were so stoked. We were set for an epic pride, but it rained, it monsooned, it Florida'd. As lightning flashed and thunder cracked all around, Stonewall's Pride Parade had to be canceled. It's devastating to everyone who worked for months. But since I don't have a parade to report on, here's a look at my evening along the drive. Hey everyone, John Hayden from a rain-soaked, drenched Wilton Manors Pride, where the parade did not go on, despite even pleas from our own gay goddess.
Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell
Thanks
me
for
not to
trying,
cry. I
Babs.
simply got to
Dark
hit
clouds
some-
hovered and then opened up with a vengeance. Would-be parade goers tried to stay dry in the staging area. I took shelter on the SunServe bus and talked with CEO Tony Limo.
We're on your double-decker bus, but we're not on the upper deck because
it's raining.
Yeah.
But you know what? The rain's not going to dampen our pride. It's not going to dampen our contingent of almost 130 people representing SunServe in the Pride Parade. And we're all in really great spirits given the rain.
During a brief break in the rain, the rifle guard got in some practice and were looking good. But the skies soon reopened and I dried out at Tropics.
All right, we are inside Tropics, who is kindly giving us shelter from the deluge right now. I'm with Alex, this year's Mr. Stonewall, apparently. How's your rain going in the rain?
The rain is going delicious in the rain. I'm moist, I'm happy, I'm proud. I don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody gonna rain on my parade. Edit that out. Parade. Uh-oh.
Your parade? I like that.
That's all right,
That's
what happens when these bartenders pour the drinks they used to do.
Outside Tropics, singer Maylin Soulfree belted from the stage. And while the chairs were empty, She had captivated the Tropics patio crowd, all of them cheering, and one fan was living her best life come rain or shine. Eventually, I got to the VIP and met up with parade hosts FayWhat and Kitty Meow to make the video none of us wanted to make.
And we had it, like Barbara Streisand said, don't rain on my parade. Unfortunately,
we had to cancel the Stonewall Pride Parade because it was unsafe to put those nonprofits and those incredible people celebrating Pride at risk. So we made the ultimate decision to cancel our parade this year.
The bars were packed, which is good, but the street vendors totally lost out, which is not good.
You know, this is the biggest night of the summer for Wilton Drive, so this is going to be felt in economic pain for a while. But the party still goes on, just not with the parade. From outside the VIP, where it's still very dry, but I'm a little moist, I'm John Hayden.
I'm moist. Jameer Baptiste, the president and producer of the event, told me, quote, "The festival showed our community's love for one another and pride." And that's true. The rain pushed everyone into the bars. So all the bar owners and managers that I've talked with since Saturday have said they had excellent nights. They had better than normal because people weren't out in the street mixing and mingling. Yeah. But that festival is expensive.
Very expensive.
Over $1 million. Much of it in security. The state is putting severe restrictions on how city and counties can support diversity festivals. And that doesn't just mean pink. It means the green for St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
It means black and brown in Black History Month. So this was kind of like our last shot at a big party. And that, I think, is what hurts my feelings the most.
Yeah.
But thank you to everybody who came out, got a little damp, and are still a little moist.
You know, and Pride is us, right? We are Pride, right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, it didn't look like we expected it to look, right? But people were still hugging each other, saying hello to old friends that they hadn't seen in a while, right? You know, I mean, like you said, my heart breaks for the nonprofits that, like, you know, put their money together to get this float to be, you know, the whatever perfection they visualized, right? Or folks that came from somewhere else, you know, it's just like, it breaks my heart that people worked on this for so many months, us included, you know, doing commercials and trying to reach out to different vendors and trying to get everybody's spirits up, you know, having Chuck King from the Eagle on our, you know, on our show countless times to talk about Pride as well. Like, you know, the efforts are not lost. All right. Let's think of it that way, right? We were still able to see each other and unite. And, you know, again, we're Pride, not an event, you know?
Yeah, I hear, and like, we cannot fault the parade didn't create the rain, but I also did have to check, like, because we were talking earlier that the rain has become an issue. Like, the National Weather Service defines the South Florida rainy season as mid-May to mid-October. And, like, most of the other prides have been very successful going around our rainy season, and maybe we should consider like a May or April.
Well, and that's what everybody says, right? And every single year we sit at this table and then everybody starts commenting on our Queer News Tonight post about Stonewall Pride. Go right ahead and do so, right? It's not being moved, okay? Stonewall Pride is to commemorate the Stonewall Uprising that happened in June 1969. It didn't happen in May. It didn't happen in October. So it's not going to be moved. Like, you know, so we're just gotta, like, it's just, it kind of just goes with the territory kind of deal of South Florida weather.
And from a purely business side, it's the biggest day of the off season. It helps set the budgets for, you know, it helps, it's a Band-Aid to help you limp through
for the summer, because the summer's tough.
October.
The summer's tough for a lot of these bars and stuff like that. That's why it puts a smile in my face what John said, that the bars were packed, because you know, that's important.
There's nothing stopping the bars from doing all sorts of Pride celebrations in June, as I'm sure they do, and I encourage them to make all the money do it. But just, you know, especially because I hear about the vendors, and like, you have to pay money to get a spot as a vendor. Oh, yeah. And then if it rains out and you can't sell anything, well, then you didn't have a good summer if it's your big summer. Like, you know,
if you're selling pinchos, you have all those pinchos left that you have to take home with you.
And like, or like, I guess for the vendors, sometimes maybe separating the vendors have like a rainy day option of like an indoor venue somewhere if it gets rained out. But like, that is something I think we have to think about more and more, especially with climate change. Like, getting rained out in June might become even more common in the 2030s than it was before.
Well, I hope that we're still able to have the Stonewall Pride Parade in 2030. We'll bring you that story in 2030.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up sports. JD Vance says sports teams don't have to do Pride nights after Trump election win. Vice President JD Vance is drawing criticism after appearing to support Major League Baseball players who altered their Pride night caps with Bible verses during the Major League Baseball Pride event hosted by the San Francisco Giants. Responding to a social media post showing Giants pitcher Landon Roop wearing a rainbow-themed team cap with the Bible verse Genesis 9:11-16 written on it, Vance wrote, quote, "Trump won. We don't have to do this anymore," end quote. Vance did not clarify whether he was referring to Pride Night's Pride-themed uniforms or MLB's decision to warn players for violating uniform rules. MLB said its regulations prohibit any, quote, alterations, writing, or illustrations, end quote, on uniforms and issued warnings to the players, though no fines were reported. Ropp defended his decision, saying, quote, "There's no hate at all. It's just what I stand for and what I stand in. I believe in God and that's me," end quote. When asked how he would respond to LGBTQ critics, he said, quote, "I would push them to read the Bible," end quote. Later, the Giants apologized, stating, quote, "We understand that the choices by individual players have caused pain and anger to many in the LGBTQ community, and we're sorry for that," end quote. Despite the controversy, 29 of MLB's 30 teams are hosting Pride events. And this season, with the Texas Rangers remaining the only exception, well, I'm all Mr. Free Speech. A part of me doesn't care, if you write something stupid on your baseball cap. I don't normally care about that. At the same time, like, let's say they were doing an Italian Americans night or a Jewish Americans night, like, and they did something wildly offensive, or like, I think, I guess an easy example is like, what if we did a Chinese Americans night and you decided to put all your Japanese pride on your hat? Like, that's it's just kind of trying, you're implying an FU to the crowd that's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to go?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
like, which queen going to take
I know
that
which queen is going to go first. I wanted to touch on Genesis 9:11, okay? Because yes, it's a Bible verse, right? But I mean, it really is kind of a community unity kind of verse, okay? I don't know all my Bible verses by heart, so I had to Google it, okay? But anyway, okay, it outlines God's covenant with Noah following the flood. He promises never again to destroy the earth with a flood and establishes the rainbow as an eternal visible sign of this everlasting promise between God and everyone. We're under the umbrella of everyone last time I checked.
No, not according to them.
Not according to them.
Okay, so first off, the only thing more nonsensical is that about the Bible verse and the 2x2 flood is the phrase, "It's just what I stand for and what I stand in. I believe in God and that's me." That makes even less sense. Jesus Christ. So the thing is, you're not allowed to alter your uniform. They were not required to wear the hat. Mm-hmm. They could have worn their regular
plain hat,
regular playing hat that they play the other 161 games in, right? So they consciously chose to wear it and to make an anti-gay statement because, and the whole rainbow thing, that's as much as it's code for us to go, oh, we're part of the rainbow. We know.
Yeah.
Saying part of the rainbow among these fanatical, self-flagellating Christians is that it's something that's been stolen from us and we can martyr ourselves because Christians have been so unpowerful. Martyr us! Pay attention to me. I say, get off the cross. We need the wood. And here's the thing. One of the players, I don't remember which one, said, I knew somebody would call me a bigot, but I didn't expect this much hate or this much reaction. Here's the thing. If you already know that what you're doing is going to get you called a bigot, that probably means you're doing something bigoted consciously.
Yeah. So you're a bigot. That's basically what that means, John.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically galling the community to go after him. Like, if we'd had a St. Patrick's Day event and you had a Queen of England pin on you, somebody's going to throw something at you. Like, it's a clear F you. And, like, putting a Bible verse, doesn't matter what it is. We all know Christianity's history with the LGBTQ community. Like, they can pretend it's not about queer people, but it's very clearly about gay people. And I think that's someone who loves worker-free speech. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't tell you you're an asshole for your speech.
Yeah, like, if their team is wears Nike uniforms and they scratch out the Nike because they don't like Nike for whatever reason.
And put a Reebok there.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're clearly saying an F you.
Then Major League Baseball is going to get involved and say, you still cannot tamper with. It's the same principle, just with more gaslighting.
Yeah.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA View. Popular Alabama gay bar closes during Pride Month after liquor license problem. A longtime LGBTQ landmark in Mobile, Alabama, has abruptly closed during Pride Month after issues surfaced with the transfer of the liquor license. This forced the cancellation of several planned Pride events. The three-story Bebop's bar closed with little warning and canceled planned events for Pride Month, including a Pride-themed drag show, which was expected to draw hundreds on the route for the city's Pride Month Art Walk, and a block party-style event featuring a voter registration drive on Saturday. The closure came after new owner Matthew Bees discovered irregularities during the licensing process following his purchase of the bar earlier this year. City officials and the Alabama ABC board confirmed the licensing issue. Bees said employees will be paid during the closure while the bar works with state and local officials to obtain the necessary approvals. No reopening date has been announced yet. Well, it's never a good time for an LGBTQ landmark to close, okay? But during Pride Month, it especially hurts that much more, you know? Yeah. I love that they're going above and beyond to make sure that the employees are paid throughout the month, you know? And that they're going to try to figure out what they need to do to get this licensing up to par, you know? You can't work without a liquor license, plain and simple.
Yeah, this story feels a little gaslighting to me because the closure happened during Pride Month and, you know, in Alabama, it's got all the buzzwords that were being oppressed, right? But I'm not sure there's enough in this story to connect the dots.
Yeah.
You know, like the timing.
John, are you implying that those of us in the media do clickbait? Never. We would never do such thing.
Certainly never, Alex. But I'm just saying I'm not mad at it because even the owner of the bar is like, yeah, fucked up.
Yeah.
I think this is a worth reporting story just because too often we don't show business owners doing the right thing. And like, yes, if your liquor license is not in compliance, and those know I do the restaurant research stuff for a living. Like, if you're not in compliance, you should not be serving alcohol. Maybe Mobile wouldn't have noticed. I mean, city officials are not the best at figuring out whose liquor license is and isn't in compliance until somebody gets behind the wheel and then something terrible happens. So it's good for the owner to be proactive instead of that. Yep. On the paying workers, I am glad about that too, but I did want to remind people, because I don't know what he pays his workers, but Mobile, Alabama is just on the federal minimum wage of only $7.25 an hour. So it might not be that much money. And tip workers, it's only $2.13 though. If they're not working, they're supposed to pay the full $7.25 when they're off. But like, still, I'm glad that he's at least doing the right thing. Why are you going to
rain on our parade again, Alex?
Steve, because it's Pride in June in South Florida. That's why.
We're all like, great job, owner. And Alex is like, wah, wah. They still won't be able to pay for their rent. Like,
I mean, that's a whole other issue we'll get into on another day.
Listen, I hope Mr. B's and Bebop's bar opens up real soon, okay?
Hey, everyone, I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up the USA View. A poll shows U.S. voters prefer candidates who support LGBTQ plus rights despite political attacks. A Data for Progress survey finds that only 1% of respondents say LGBTQ plus issues are their top voting priority. But 51% of likely voters are more expected to support a candidate who vocally backs LGBTQ plus rights. Now, this is compared to 32% who prefer a candidate that opposes them. Support is strongest among Democrats and independents, while most Republicans favor candidates opposing LGBTQ plus rights. The poll also finds that voters who personally know someone who is trans were significantly more likely to support LGBTQ plus candidates. They also support, by wide margins, candidates who back common sense progressive causes, including anti-bullying, better mental health services, veterans issues, and other LGBTQ causes like adoption, fostering, and homeless care. And this is something I've been saying for a long time, but it's nice to have something that's quantifying it. Yeah, if you know somebody, you're most likely to want to support them politically. You know, it was that way back with gays and marriage equality 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Same with trans now. Also, it reminds us that LGBTQ rights aren't often a deciding factor. 1%, that's not even our whole community.
Yeah.
We still need to pay our rent, pay our taxes, have all these other concerns. So candidates just bring us along for the ride, and we're happy. And this is a throwback to a story we did earlier. If it's not even motivating our whole base, is being anti-trans going to motivate, because trans doesn't decide the issue. And we're going to see that in spades as November rolls out.
Do you think that politicians take that into account and know that at all? That if they gave us a little bit, right, we would support them. You can get a whole community of LGBTQ plus people that will vote for you if you are on the right side of things.
Yeah.
For us, it doesn't take a lot.
I've found politicians that know that, and they prefer to just keep promising the same promise cycle after cycle. And it's not just towards queer people. Black voters have dealt with this. I've had certain, I won't name which older black politicians privately say to me, like, they do get concerned, like, is the party ever going to deliver for their community or for our community? That being said, like, I know that Americans can be bigots. We're all friggin' bigots. But Americans don't want to actually be bigots. And that's what this poll reminds me of. Like, they don't really want to be bigots to queer people. They don't really want to be as xenophobic or racist as some politicians think they want to be. And it tends to be a smaller group. But also just like, yes, it's not the whole public, but like, LGBTQ voters are a powerful subsect. Like, we're almost 8% of the electorate. That's millions of people. I don't even know the number offhand, but like, and we did have a big shift from 2020 to 2024 for Kamala that did represent like 2 or 3 million voters altogether for her. And you look at how that worked out. She found another 2, 3 million voters. She'd be a much happier person right now.
We all would.
We all would be, right? Oh my goodness. Isn't that a fact? LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Does Toy Story 5 feature an LGBTQ plus wedding? Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 is prompting online debate over whether the film includes an LGBTQ plus wedding. In an opening scene, Forky marries Karen Beverly, a DIY toy introduced in Toy Story 4. The discussion centers on the ceremony referring to the pair as husband and knife instead of husband and wife. So according to Eric Hall of The Telegraph, the wording suggests Karen Beverly is gender neutral, making the wedding queer. However, many fans have disputed that interpretation, saying they, quote, did not see an LGBTQ plus wedding. So Disney and Pixar have not described the wedding as LGBTQ plus, leaving the scene open to the audience interpretation. Toy Story 5 is now playing in theaters. Ay, mi gente. Okay, gay people, I know that we want to see gay and everything, and I don't really, or make everything gay. I don't see this being as a gay wedding, okay? Which it could totally be, and that's totally fine, okay? I can't believe they even made a Toy Story 5. Let's start there, okay? But I'm going to go see it. You know why? Because Taylor Swift is in it. That's the only reason I'm going to see this. Tom Hanks, and who's the other guy who does the
Tim
other
Allen.
one? Tim Allen. Boys.
I don't see it, but I will say, Eric, it is so nice to see you getting in the news again, girl. I love your shit, and if anyone ever had the time to meet Eric, he's one of the best queer reporters out there, so those that don't know that. He's a sweetie. So if he said they're a lesbian couple, then fine, they're a lesbian couple.
No, he said queer couple.
Queer
couple.
Why do I think they were lesbians?
I don't.
That was a gay-on-gay crime I just committed.
Because you see lesbians everywhere.
I do.
This just brings me back to like 15 years ago when they said when we let gay penguins in zoos get married, the world's gonna go to hell. And it's coming true. Oh my God, they were right. They were right all along. Support your sporks.
Listen, that spork was sexy. Okay, if that spork is lesbian.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the world view. Jewish LGBTQ group reaches deal to join Rome Pride after dispute over Gaza. The deal allowed Fixate Italia, Italy's only Jewish LGBTQ organization, to participate in Saturday's Rome Pride Parade. The deal resolved a dispute over the war in Gaza. The group marched with its own delegation and symbols, and they will join the coordinating committee for next year's Pride. Rather than operating a float, the group marched on foot in a designated section with added security. Organizers had barred Fixate's float because Rome Pride's political platform describes the war in Gaza as a genocide, a characterization Israel and the Italian group Fixate reject. Fixate thanked Rome's mayor, Roberto Guitalli, for helping broker the agreement amid growing concerns about anti-Semitic incidents in Italy. This was a last-minute deal they reached. It was Friday night, and Saturday they were able to participate in the parade. Gay rights is a touchy issue in Italy. The war in Israel, the whole Middle East, is a touchy subject everywhere. So I'm glad they were able to work it out because Pride is about inclusion.
Yeah. And Pride should be big enough to hold difficult conversations like this.
Yes.
You know?
No, but also, like, good for Roma Pride for having basic standards. Like, I think something that's different from American prides and other countries' prides is they're a little bit more political. And, like, you'd think we'd be political, but we're a little less political. I'm glad that they did. You know, we've covered this topic before. Glad to see something was reached. I will remind people that while the government of Israel does not consider it a genocide, multiple human rights organizations in Israel have documented how it meets the legal definition of a genocide. So everyone can deal with that as they'd like. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Original 1978 rainbow pride flag makes historic first ever exhibition outside the U.S. The original rainbow pride flag, created by artist and activist Gilbert Baker in 1978, is making history with its first ever exhibition outside the United States. The hand-stitched flag, first unveiled at San Francisco's Gay Freedom Day parade, is now on loan to Cork, Ireland for 4 months, coinciding with the opening of Cork Public Museum's first permanent LGBTQ exhibit. In March, the GLBT Historical Society, the flag's official caretaker, signed a loan agreement with the City of Cork and Cork Public Museum, and museum curator Dan Breen said, quote, "Having Gilbert Baker's flag on public display at the museum sends a strong message that Cork Public Museum is a place for everyone, regardless of your age, gender, or sexual orientation," end quote. Now, for those that don't know, Gilbert Baker passed away, I think, a decade or 15 years ago. So that's why you wouldn't see pictures of him there. And also, the reason the flag looks a little different than ones today is the commercial colors available to make a flag just did include pink and I think cyan, so the two of the colors. That's why there's more colors. I hope we eventually go back to the old rainbow flag with all those colors.
Well, I mean, again, that's our history, right? You know, the original Baker flag is our history, and it's part of LGBTQ plus history, and it should never be forgotten, right? That being said, we now have a progressive flag that now really just speaks to our inclusivity, right? And it also represents more people than the original Baker flag, right? This flag also has the black and brown stripes, so it also includes black and brown folks, leather folks, trans folks. All of those are in the progressive flag. But again, they've been trying to erase our history left and right, you know? So, I mean, the Baker flag is so important and still part of our history and should be paraded everywhere to remind us how far we've come.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, don't parade it through the San Francisco Giants bullpen because we're stealing Noah's sign, and there won't be no sign stealing in baseball.
None. Only base stealing, right? That's what you do there?
Sure.
Okay.
And just before we close out, like, any good drag queen can have more than 1 or 2 rainbow flags in their dress.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the world view. Nepal Supreme Court makes marriage equality permanent in historic LGBTQ plus rights victory. Nepal's Supreme Court has ruled in favor of marriage equality, ordering the government to ensure equal marriage rights for queer and transgender couples. The decision makes Nepal the 40th country in the world to legally recognize equal marriage, providing lasting legal certainty after a 2023 interim ruling. The 2023 decision followed a lawsuit by 9 LGBTQ plus activists challenging laws that define marriage as between a man and a woman. Nepal's LGBTQ plus advocacy group Blue Diamond Society society welcomed the decision, calling marriage equality, quote, a guarantee under Nepal's constitution, end quote, and urging the government to swiftly put the ruling into practice. Nepal just became the 40th country to recognize marriage equality, proving once again that the march toward equality doesn't stop at borders. Every victory like this sends a clear message that love wins and eventually the law will catch up. Hopefully.
We are going to sit here within a year or maybe two, and we're going to do a story about the first LGBTQ plus wedding done at or near the summit of Mount Everest, because the Nepalese control the half of the Everest. Yeah. So you can go there now, get married, and I'm just laying it down. I'm going to save this clip because I know we're going to be doing that story pretty soon.
Oh, God, please do not get married on Mount Everest. There's too much trash and too many dead bodies on Mount Everest. Don't do it.
Right? Like, what happens on the way up? Do you leave your couple? Like, okay, I guess we weren't supposed to get married. Bye, peace, right?
No, someone's coming down the mountain, a widow. There's definitely a widow coming down. But you know what? I'm just going to focus on the marriage.
And it's nice to see another country expand marriage equality, because especially, like, after that weird backward country, what's it called? America legalized gay marriage. Shouldn't everyone just do it at that point?
You would think.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Henry Cavill's Royal Ascot appearance goes viral after fans fixate on his Royal Ascot. Henry Cavill is trending after an unexpected moment during Britain's Royal Ascot captured the attention of the nation. The Man of Steel attended the horse racing event dressed in a traditional top hat, tails, and a vintage watch. Evening, Governor. However, this video quickly took an unintended turn. The clip, look! The clip, shared by Instagram account Italian Watch Spotter, zoomed in on Cavill's vintage watch. But instead, social media did what social media does and focused on the actor's prominent bulge. Reactions poured in, with one girl writing, "Girl, nobody looking at that bracelet." Well, another joked, "You saw it, I saw it, we all saw it." Even Drag Race star Phoenix chimed in, posting, does anyone know if that cameraman has a Venmo? Because he deserves a donation. Oh, Henry. And you know, he has a place here in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Of course he does.
He has a place here in Henry.
Of course, with a bulge like that, he's got a few places here in Fort Lauderdale.
He can be my man of steel.
He can have the whole 5th floor of Wilton Tower with that bulge. Holy crap. I mean, come on. He's got a bottle in his pants or something. He knows. That is bullshit. He knows exactly what he's got in his pants, if you know what I mean.
And who? Who? I mean, that's the next. Who?
This is an important example of why too much correction of men in trunks is why Man of Steel didn't do as well as it could have.
Period.
That.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
She's talking about me. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Do not forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of your closet and into our headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat! And I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ plus anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including John Hayden and Alex Morash. I wanted to make you sound tougher, but I don't know.
Can you make me sound any tougher than I am?
Alex Morash. Yes, that was tough. All right, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.
Good night.
Night.